And the UK government is announcing plans to make women and girls feel safer through a nationwide rollout of a program called Project Vigilant. The move comes after the death of Sarah Everard. A London police officer is now charged with her murder and kidnapping after Everard vanished while walking home in London. Now, as I mentioned, her death has sparked a global movement against street harassment and violence. Foreign correspondent Maggie Rulli joins us live from London now with the latest. Maggie, good morning. What do we know about Everard's case so far and the officer charged with her murder and kidnapping?
Hey, Diane, good morning. Yeah, we got that shocking news. Everard was missing for quite some time, and then we learned the police actually arrested a serving police officer. He was in his 40s. He's arrested and charged with Sarah's kidnapping and her murder. So clearly shocking, and led many women questioning the fact that these are the people that are supposed to be protecting women and men on the streets. Now one of them is a suspect. So a lot of grief, a lot of anger from women and men here in London, and a lot of women that we met at some of the memorials and vigils that have popped up around London for Sarah. They all say the same thing. They say, this could have been me. Sarah was walking home just after 9:30 at night. She took a well-lit route home through an area of London that's popular with young people. She kind of took all the precautions. She was wearing sneakers, shoes she could walk and run in. She was wearing bright clothing. She texted her boyfriend saying she was on her way home. One young girl we spoke with at the memorial said, Sarah did everything right. She did all the things that women are taught to do to stay safe from a young age, and it still happened to her. And that is why you see this grief sort of boiling over into anger right now, Diane, because I think all women can relate to doing those things that we're taught to do from the young age, carrying your keys in your fist in case you have to attack someone, calling a friend, having an open line. These are things we always do, and the fact that it happened to Sarah really drives that fear home for so many women.
Yep, I have done all of those things, Maggie. I'm sure you have too. So over the last week, Everard's death has inspired this Reclaim the Streets movement. What are we seeing from that? What are advocates trying to get done here?
Yeah, it's really been empowering, Diane. Obviously, people are mourning the tragic death of Sarah, but it's also become this movement. You may even be seeing it in the States. I've seen a lot of people, both American and British and from all over the world, posting things on their Instagram, like, text me when you get home. I'm sure you've said that to your friends as well. Kind of this collective moment for women of grief and fear and anger, because we know what it's like. We've all texted that to friends. And so we're seeing this movement. It's gone online. It is on social media. We're now seeing the hashtag Reclaim These Streets, raising money, raising awareness. And, we actually spoke to a lawmaker here in the UK, Diane, that's been on the forefront of this. She was part of the Reclaim the Streets movement back in the 70s when this first started. She told us, she can't believe she's talking to me. 2021, nearly 50 years she's been fighting this fight, and we're still talking about it. And she said in this moment of sort of frustration and grief, she heard some of the police here, after this murder, tell women, well, don't go out at night. And her response, off the cuff, out of frustration, she goes, how about we stop telling women to not go out at night, and instead let's put a curfew on men. I'm going to propose a bill that says no men are allowed out after 6. They're the ones who are violent anyway. Now, she admits this is impossible and was sort of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but the reaction she's getting is pretty incredible. And a lot of women are standing up saying, enough is enough. Why are we blaming the victim? Why don't we take a stance and try to stop the people who are perpetrating this violence instead? So, really interesting. This conversation is still going on. People are demanding that something changes.
And I know tensions are also high there in London, and a lot of controversy being paid attention to over the encounter between police and demonstrators around this case. Can you elaborate a little bit on what happened there and what the reaction is?
Yeah, Dane, we keep talking about sort of this anger boiling over, people really just saying, again, enough is enough. And we saw that happen. A vigil was planned. You see some of these images here. They're tough to look at. This was a vigil that was planned for Sarah. And because of COVID protocols, the protesters were told not to gather, that it broke COVID rules here in London. We're still under a pretty severe lockdown. So there was a police presence. Now, we're not sure exactly what happened. There are varying accounts, but you see that video and you can see police officers getting very aggressive with a young woman who was there protesting. And, for many women, they just said these images alone, here you have people who are at a vigil for a woman who was allegedly murdered by a serving police officer. He is their lead suspect, and you have police getting rough with a woman who's there protesting. So that alone is something that many people right now in the city police department are having to answer for.
All right, Maggie Rulli in London for us. Maggie, thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.